Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen. Aikwi, welcome, hello. We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered here today is unceded territory of the Wiyot peoples. They continue to live and thrive in this land, on this land today, and it's surrounded by other traditional, ancestral, and present homeland of several. I wash my teeth and I don't think my lips are creepy, huh? Thank you, Dave. Several other indigenous nations, including the Hupa, Karuk, Matol, Wailaki, and Yurok, among others, here in Humboldt County. The Wiyot name for Eureka is Turichichi, meaning where you sit and rest, as this piece of land is between South Bay, Weechee in Wiyot, where Wiyot people en route via canoe to the Mad River would stop and rest. I am a citizen of the Norelmuk Wintu Nation in Trinity County, and I offer this prayer in the Norelmuk Wintu language. It's an abbreviation of a very long prayer, so go. You may stand with me if you wish, and in tradition, we hold our hands up to receive spirit, creator spirit. Olabus ka'achepet, your Nietzsche is calling. Niyabida, hear my prayers, spirit giver. Your children seek renewal. And the sky people, the water people, the land people, and all of your creations. Renew our spirit, ka'achepet. Make us whole again. We honor the Wiyot peoples. All my relations, hope. Thank you. And Miss Karen Blakely.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is so great to see you both here in the sanctuary and joining us online. No matter where you are, please allow me to simply say, welcome home. We're so glad that you are here. And here at Eureka CSL, we hold each other in the highs and the lows of life. And so we have some very sad news to just make you aware of and a prayer request this morning. Beloved member Karen Jolly's daughter passed away yesterday. And so the family has asked that we just hold them in our hearts and our prayers. And so let's just take a moment to do that now and just silently know and wrap Karen and her entire family in love as they walk through this difficult time. Karen, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And so let us go ahead and move in now to saying our community statement of inclusion, or I'm sorry, our opening affirmation. Waiting. It's going to come up. I know it will. Ta-da. All right. And so I invite us to say the top part together and then turn to someone near you to just honor the path that brought them here this morning. And so let us begin. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. I honor the path that brought you here today. I honor the path that brought you here today. That's so wonderful. I love that little piece of connection. Next, you'll see up on the screens here when Marvin has the chance to flip it, it will be our weekly schedule. You can see details and all the registration links on our website. So if there's anything that you're like, wait, Karen, what did you say? You can go to the website and catch all that information there. Highlights this week, we have Yoga with Kathy continues on Monday and Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon. And I know, Edward, you wanted to say an announcement, too, about your book. Why don't you come on up?
Yeah, somebody asked me about the hat and the black outfit. My wife and I watched A Woman Called Golda last night, which was a long, beautiful movie. And since I have a brother from another mother who's Jewish, I decided that I would honor the inner Jew within me. So, shalom, shalom. There you go. Well, I'm from the south of Jerusalem. We're a little darker. Anyway, I wanted to thank everybody who did purchase a copy of my book. I'm told on Amazon that there's only 2 copies left and more coming. So that's a good thing. But for those that weren't able to pick it up, I just wanted to remind you, the new one is called The Story of Rain. It's a novel, basically, in my style of poetry, which I call lyrical poetry, or poetry for people who don't like poetry. It's easy to understand. If you like song lyrics and you like the songs, they're country and western songs, you know, you like the stories, it's built like that so that you can understand it. The other one is A Poet's Mind, Musician's Soul. I'm on sale everywhere, and you can go to Google, Play, iTunes, Barnes & Noble on website, and Amazon, any of those places. Also, I'm at Eureka Bookstore. So if you, like me, like to go in and smell, thank you. If you like to smell books and you love to fill the pages like I do, that's the place to go. And I will be doing a book signing there in July. Yeah, and I promise that to be an event. It's going to be different, as I am. So anyway, all proceeds of these books I am giving to the center. So you will be supporting you. Yeah, it's not about the money for me. It's about the artistic creation. And I advise everyone also who haven't taken any of the classes, I'm in the current one, the Essential Earnest Homes, do that. It's not like you're standing in front of a blackboard and somebody saying, remember this, remember that, remember that. You actually get a chance to think. You know, they give you topics, you can think for yourself, and then you share your opinions with others who then you can listen to their opinions. Lots of fun, very informative, and highly recommended. Thanks.
Thank you, Edward. We sure do have a very talented congregation here. And speaking of talented, we have some guest speakers coming up. You may notice that some of us will be out of town the next couple of weeks, and we have some fabulous guest speakers lined up for you. First up next week on the 23rd is Lorna. She'll be speaking on the remarkable power of growing in kindness. Yeah. And then the following week we have Reverend Lynn, who will be speaking on healing self and our world. Yeah, so these will be wonderful events to come to. All right, next up is the Twice Nice and Plant Sale. And Catherine, I think you're here somewhere. Twice Nice. And Plant Sale. I thought I heard Catherine. Is she not here?
All the same.
No? Yeah, all the same weekend. All right. Well, I don't have the details on this. I thought Catherine was going to do it, so we'll just look at the slide here and know that it will be Friday, June 2nd. Wait. Oh, you've got some stuff? All right.
So most of you know that the Twice Nice sale is our very best fundraiser for the year. And last year we all went, oh, we can't do this anymore. We're not going to do this anymore. And then people gave us stuff, and nobody came up with an idea to make $10,000 in one shot. So we're doing it again. What it means is we have, I believe Catherine's going to be putting out, that maybe she's in the office getting the sign-up sheet ready. There's various areas that need help because we're doing the plant sale at the same time. Now, I'll tell you why we're doing the plant sale at the same time. Because last year we did the plant sale, and a month later we did the Twice Nice, and it's the same volunteers. And that makes it really difficult for those volunteers. So I figured, let's just do it all at one time. And a lot of other places I've noticed are having plant sales before us. So it's good that we're not butting into anybody. If you're going through a cleaning spree, if you have cupboards that are bulging and things like that, like I do, we really will take what you have. One thing I ask is that you price it yourself. You don't have to price clothes because there'll be things posted all around for how much they are. But anything else that you have, please put a price on it. That would be helpful. We will have some pricing parties, however. Anyway, everything has to be clean. It has to be unbroken. If you plug it in, it has to work, etc. We do not need any art. We have tons of art right now. So unless it's just such a fantastic piece that we could get extra money for it. You know how that goes. So I can't think of anything else right now, but you will be hearing way more about it starting May 1st when I get back. I am the chair of it, and then there's individual chairs. I do want to mention, however, something totally different. Tiffany and her husband made these wonderful little planter boxes with plants. Doesn't it just add something to it? It's wonderful, isn't it? So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is
The
a
door.
work in progress. I tried to open the door.
Yeah.
and
So did I.
couldn't.
I think we've all tried to open the door. We want to see who lives in there.
So Rick is doing something here. We'll have to, this looks really neat, doesn't it? Yeah. Like the doorway to the mind.
Yes, I love that. Well, perfect. So looking forward to all of that. Speaking of the doorway to the mind, that is a perfect segue into our bookstore. There are some lovely books to stimulate your mind. Gently used books are $1 off. So please peruse that when you have time. Also, the little pantry is always in need. We're here Mondays from noon until 4, or you can bring things on Sunday. We're specifically looking for baby food, things with pop-top cans, so you don't need a can opener to open them, and shelf-stable milks and juices. Our theme for this month is the power of growth. And now I'll invite Edward up for our contemplative meditation, accompanied by Jackson. Okay.
Oh, I love that not leaving the podium thing. I tend to forget. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to remove my chapeau for this. I apologize for the resemblance of my head to an M&M peanut, but my wife gave me a nice haircut, and I like the feeling of the energy escaping from from that chakra as we do this. In keeping with our theme of growth, I wanted to read something that was in line with that. And I didn't really have far to go. I looked at this month's issue of Science of Mind magazine. For those of you that don't have it, it's great. And our newly elected leader of the centers, Reverend Sony Cantrell Smith, wrote something at the very beginning that I thought was worth sharing and thinking about. It says, in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes, "We give only what we have. The only shadow we cast is of ourselves. This shadow lengthens as we realize the great presence in which we live, move, and have our being. When I was a child, before I went to sleep, I would have my mother check under the bed to make sure no one was hiding there. There were 2 large windows that bathed my bedroom in moonlight, which was a comfort as I fell asleep. However, when storms rolled in, the wind would kick up and cause the tree limbs to cast scary shadows on the walls. I would pull the covers up over my head and hide. As an adult, I still see shadows, but I no longer hide from them. We should think about valuing the shadow just as much as we value the light. There can be magic when light and shadow work together. If we perceive shadows as important elements alone or combined with the light, this awareness can transform our lives. As human beings, we often forget we are light and shadow. For a long time, all I sought was the light, shunning the shadow, until I realized I can't reject the shadow without rejecting my own wholeness. Just as photographers need shadow and light to create a strong and beautiful image, we need both to live a life of wholeness and authenticity. One of the most important ingredients to living a life of wholeness is accepting all of ourselves, the parts we love and the parts we don't love so much. Learning to be okay with ourselves can be hard, and it takes practice. You will know you are on your way when you can look at yourself in the mirror and accept every bit of what makes you who you are.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
What I know is that we are a portion of the face of God, because God is simply everything. God is every molecule, every amoeba, every insect, every bird, every human, every planet. All that exists anywhere is that divine energy. And what I know is that we are humans, but we are spiritual beings experiencing that humanity. It's a journey. I know that our parents have constructed this vehicle that we call reality by the assembly of trillions of atoms. And each atom, not being a thinking or feeling entity, is merely a building block, but it's infused with God. There is God running through every atom, God running as every atom, God surrounding every atom, and more God emanating from each and every one of us and connecting us to everything. It's all connected. When we leave this mortal coil, we simply release those atoms back into the soil or back into the water or wherever we happen to be, so that they can be consumed and reconsumed and become building blocks for something else. But that which we are, that who we are, is still here. It cannot be destroyed. It can never die, and it was never born. It is a part of that divine energy that we call God or Spirit. And the tapestry of the universe would fall apart if even a single piece of that divine Spirit was missing. So nothing is missing because we're still here. We know this. We affirm this, and I speak for myself on behalf of everyone. I believe we are all happy for our existence. We are all happy for the contributions that we make to this universe, because each and every one of us, though small we may seem to ourselves, are a major, major part of everything that is. Without us, the whole landscape of the universe would change, as moving one grain of sand from a beach changes the landscape of that beach and the world and the universe. And knowing this, I am so grateful. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for my existence in God. I'm grateful for the knowledge and the love that God is sharing constantly with each and every one of us. And though things may seem hard and appearances may be contrary to what is so, I know that God is perfect love, and everything happens in divine right order. And I release this into the universe, knowing even as I do, it is the truth, and it is done. And so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
And now, keeping my brother from another mother happy, I will not leave the podium until we welcome our beloved Reverend Angelica.
Thank you. I have jeans on. Jeans at the podium. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do have shoes on. It's too cold here not to wear shoes. I'm really happy with our community, both online and in person. I think we're doing a really good job. And in alignment with this theme of growth, the power of growth, I decided to call this talk, this message, Everything Grows. It started because I bought some new shoes, walking shoes, for this trip, and I had to get wider ones than I was used to getting. And I thought, what happened? My feet couldn't have grown. But then I started looking stuff up on the internet. Most of you know that I'm really famous for doing that. And apparently your nose keeps growing, your nails keep growing, your ears get bigger. Everything just keeps growing. And then I go outside and I'm looking at my garden. And even though we've had drowning weather, it seems like, all of my plants, in fact, those fake onion plants, I swear They were not in my front yard before, but now there was a huge swath of them. Made it really interesting when my guy came to mow the lawn. I love the smell of fresh mown grass. Wait, what's that smell? Onion plants. Everything grows. Everything does. So I found this interesting little piece here. Everything grows. Plants grow from seeds. Animals grow from babies. People grow from children. Ideas grow from seeds of thought. Relationships grow from the seeds of love and trust. Businesses grow from the seeds of innovation and hard work. Communities grow from the seeds of diversity and inclusion. Hope grows from the seeds of faith and courage. Peace grows from the seeds of understanding and compassion. Love grows from the seeds of kindness and generosity. Everything grows. Everything that exists in the world actually came from something smaller and evolved. Everything grows. So then I started thinking about, the most important growth for me right now is my spiritual growth. I mean, it has been important to me since 1981, and before that, I was into things, but in 1981 was when I found the Glendale Church of Religious Science, and felt like I had come home. It was like suddenly all the thoughts that I had had about spirituality, etc., that people thought I was a little crazy, suddenly made sense. And it was like, yes, these people think like I do. This is wonderful. And so how do we encourage this spiritual growth? I know that I have experienced on my path, which has been for quite a few years now, times when the path didn't seem right, that, something was off. And yet I found myself again and found the path again, and it takes encouragement to grow. You constantly have to be encouraging yourself. So you have to encourage everything to grow in your life. So here's my ideas about this. The first one is provide the right conditions. Provide the right conditions for growth. For plants, that means preparing the soil, making sure they have enough sun, water, nutrients, etc. For animals, it means preparing the right food or providing the right food, shelter, and space. For people, it means providing the right opportunities, education, and support. Providing the right conditions spiritually also means providing opportunities, education, and support. I learn from every class that I teach, even though I've been teaching classes since 1986. It's amazing. There's never a place in your spiritual evolution where you're going to get there. I mean, you think you're there. Aha, I'm enlightened. And the universe goes, oh, yeah? And something happens that makes you go on another educational venture. But continuing to educate yourself spiritually, and that, for me, becomes, teaching classes I learned, but more than that, I learned through meditation, reading, and prayer, spiritual mind treatment. So you have to provide the right conditions for your spirit to grow. The other thing I thought of was you have to be patient. Remember I said, oh, you think you're there, and then the universe says, let me show you how far you have to go. So growth takes time. We can't expect results to happen overnight. I have heard of people who have had spiritual revelations in an instant, and something weird happens. It's like if they don't follow then the path that they've been shown, they start to feel lost. And they continue and they look for that spark, that revelation experience over and over and over and over again. So growth takes time. Be patient. Be positive. Be positive about it. We live in a really negative world right now. We don't, but it seems like when you read things or you watch the news or you think you're supposed to stay informed, etc. There's a lot of negativity out there right now. And it's not just in the United States. It's everywhere, all over the world. Though I have heard that the Scottish people are very happy people. So being positive can go a really long way in encouraging our growth. Instead of letting yourself get pulled in by the negativity, let yourself look at the other side of it. Whatever it might be, there's a negative and a positive of everything in the universe. So let yourself look for the positive. And in that looking for the positive and in, educating yourself and being patient and everything, you have to be persistent. You have to be persistent. Keep working on your dreams. And it's not easy work sometimes. In fact, most of the times, to stay persistently positive, for instance. To stay persistently patient, for instance. My next one is be grateful. This, to me, is one of the key components of our spiritual toolbox, is the ability to be grateful. There's something to be grateful for every minute of your life. Even if you're going through something really hard, there's something to be grateful for. And so allow yourself to feel your feelings, but also what in this am I grateful for? Be grateful. Appreciate everything that you have. Gratitude can help you stay motivated. My next one is to be open to new experiences. Absolutely be open to new experiences. I used to have this T-shirt years and years ago that said, "I'll try anything once." And in having that sort of attitude, I learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about other people. Growth, including spiritual growth, comes from stepping out of our comfort zones. We get really happy. Everything's working. We get really happy. We sort of get lax. We get lazy. And then something happens in our life to wake us up and move us forward again. Which moves me into my next one, which is learn from your mistakes. Everybody makes them. There's no way you're going to live the rest of your life without making at least one mistake. Right? So, the important thing, though, is not to dwell on that mistake, but to recognize it, acknowledge it, and move forward. Move forward. Here's something that we're doing on Sunday mornings, surrounding ourselves with positive people. The people that we surround ourselves have a big impact on our spiritual growth. So it's important to pay attention to the people you're hanging out with. Surround yourself with positive people. My last one is believe in yourself. The most important thing is to believe in yourself and your ability to grow. And when you're believing in yourself, the self that I want you to believe in is that capital S self, the God self. Because we're not alone in this work that we're doing, in this spiritual work, spiritual growth. There is that within us that is living our lives as us, that is rejoicing every time we have a deeper understanding of that. I've said this comment before, but we're moving ourselves to the place like Jesus had, where he said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. If you've seen me, as you're seeing me right now, you're seeing God. Well, I prefer to say the goddess. As you're looking into the eyes of your friends and your family, you're seeing God. There is not one thing here that is not God. And how do I know this? Well, I just do. And I'm getting to that, quantum physics is coming to that place of describing that. Even in scientific articles I've read, they're saying that science is getting closer to the idea of God. This divine energy that's absolutely everywhere, that is the source and substance of everything that there is. There is nothing. This new door here, that's God. In fact, I see it inviting us, open it up, see me. These new plants, even though they're fake plants, that's God. The chair you're sitting on is God. The air that you're breathing is God. There is nothing but God. And if you're one of those that doesn't like the word God, tough. It's so much easier. Now, you know me, I use the divine presence or the divine or infinite intelligence or unconditional love or all these different names. But God is so short and sweet, isn't it? Long time ago when I was doing the newsletter for the, where was I living then? I can't even remember. I think it was the Honolulu church. One of the articles that came through to go into the newsletter was this woman had written that she believed GOD standard for give on demand. And at first I thought, ooh, I didn't like that idea, putting a demand on God. But then isn't that what we're doing anyway? No matter what. Doing it from a loving place instead of a needy place is good. I learned that much. So as we walk through this next week, let us all allow ourselves to remember that we're growing. We're growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. We're growing. We're always going to grow. And so let's allow ourselves to really nurture this growth. Now you might say, well, if the real me is God, God doesn't need to grow. You're right. But our mind that has thought it was separate since we were babies needs to allow ourselves to remember that in order for us to really be that true self, that real self, God's self, we have to grow. It's kind of hard to, if all your life you're taught that you're separate and that God is out there, this idea of recognizing that this is God expressing in the world is a little foreign. And it's not necessarily an idea that we can just hold on to and go, from one moment separate to the next moment oneness. But this is where we're going. This is where we're growing, is into oneness and into that greater sense of love and light and power and all the things that the attributes that we give to God. This is who we are. So allow yourself this week to take moments to appreciate that miracle of growth. This is what you're doing. This is who you are. So let's say our affirmation. The love and light of Spirit shines in, through, and as me, helping my life to flower and bloom as it also grows the community around me. And let's go into treatment. How grateful I am to be able to remember that all there is this one life. To remember that this life is perfect and that this life is the life that we are living right now. And so I celebrate this life with every fiber of my being. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that as I allow myself to, I will grow into this conscious idea of oneness. This idea that there truly is only the one thing here, that thing that we call God. And so I declare for us this week that as we walk this wonderful adventure called life, we begin to see the miracle of growth, the miracle of life all around us. And we allow ourselves to live mainly in the positive, persistently optimistic. We allow ourselves to be patient. We allow ourselves to celebrate who we are and what we're doing and how far we've come already. We allow ourselves to be positive, feeling these wonderful energies of the divine that are absolutely everywhere. We allow ourselves to do our spiritual work so that we enhance our growth and the growth of everything around us. Everything grows. So I celebrate us this week. I celebrate us knowing at a greater degree than we ever have before that who we are is on purpose, is powerful, is loving, is compassionate, is beautiful. And I give thanks for all these things, knowing that they are already so, celebrating us as we walk this path together, this path of coming into the oneness, of absolutely knowing that all there is God. And so it is. I know that you all are in very good hands the next 2 weeks while Susan and Burl and Marin and I head off to Scotland. And you can know for us that we don't have any of those airline situations that they talk about so much. We're going to get right there. And our gift of music this morning is Jeff Smoller.
So my friend Doug's going to help me out on this one.
I was tempted to get up and dance. Yeah. I know. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
What's the name of that, Jeff?
Unchain my heart.
Ray Charles and then Joe Cocker.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, now we come into our time of offering, of making our gifts. And so I'll invite the ushers to go ahead and come forward. I feel like I should say something about the God acronym of Give on Demand here. But let's take that to a different place and know that on that give and demand, that as we open up and give, that in the law of reciprocity, that sweet spirit cannot help but give to us. That we open up that space. And so in that energy of giving back where we are fed and knowing that we live in that place of abundance, let's just say our affirmation together here. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. And so we just speak a word of blessing over every gift and every giver, knowing that it is the energy of the divine pressed down and overflowing, that that vibration of good goes out to support every needed thing, both for the sinner and for our community and our world beyond. We simply call it good and so very good, and so it is. Thank you. All right. And who would like to come up and read our community statement of inclusion? All right. Come on up, Donna.
Community Statement of Inclusion, an affirmation. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates for people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so that we may grow together and understands that oneness is not sameness. And together we say, we know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. All right, and now I invite you all to stand as we sing our community song. And this month we are singing Treatment for Joy.